Okay. So our projects were Coin4Good. I'm Pedro, and Claude here is the main developer who's built the site. We grabbed the idea from Nathan, basically from Inspire, where he explained to us that sites like Simply Giving or Virgin Money Giving were platforms through where people could raise money, but there were two problems mainly. One were the fees that applied, for example, PayPal and credit cards, around 2%, I think. And the other one was increased features. So the idea to get rid of all the fees, what we've done basically is we're using only Bitcoins, which is the internet currency. There are no fees involved. The maximum percentage on a transaction is 1%, but we're using Coinbase, this wallet, that up to 1 million donation, there are no fees.
$1 million.
$1 million. Now, we have looked a lot to Kickstarter, for example. So the idea is for each project to recognize all the donators. So if you donate to that project, your name will be shown on the project page. You can set up your target as well, and you'll see a thermometer. At the moment, we haven't had time to implement it, but that's the idea, to basically spread your page and share it on your Facebook account or Twitter account, how that integrated, and have some kind of targets that people are motivated towards donating, and the recognition behind it. Because at the moment, it's not very nice. By the way, other sites use basic, credit card, Visa, or PayPal to make the transaction. So what Claude is going to be doing now is showing a little bit how the site works.
So I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a fundraiser and donating money to this fundraiser. So basically, this I will put all the slides on the internet, so if you want, you can access the URL as well. You have laptops. So basically, just access to Facebook. So it didn't ask me for permissions because I have already given it permissions before. So here are 3 buttons. One of them is called fundraise. So I'm going to create this, click on this button and whatever, tell the site that I want to create my own fundraiser. So basically, I don't know, should cancel. So this email is the email that's going to be used to create the wallet on Coinbase.com. Okay, so when you ever create a fundraiser, the merchant account is created on Coinbase, and wallet is associated. A Bitcoin wallet is associated with the merchant account. Who is familiar with Bitcoin? Just can I have a show of hands? Everyone in general. Bitcoin. So you know that basically that's the coin. You never used it, but you have idea of the concept.
Yes.
Okay.
So Coinbase is a Bitcoin
wallet.
Yeah.
And it is a merchant account as well, so you can get money as a merchant account. You can get money from several sources.
Okay.
And you can, if you want, you can change them to dollars, for example.
Okay.
So that's the point. That's the next thing that you can change your dollars.
So if I want to use Bitcoins, I go to Coinbase.
If you want to buy Bitcoin to create a wallet,
yes,
you use Coinbase. Yeah. And if you want to have a merchant account, you use Coinbase as well.
There are other wallets, but Coinbase is, you don't need to download the software. You can use it directly online. And it's secure. They store the data offline, which others don't. So, okay.
So, fake address. The password is the password that's that the fundraiser is going to use to access his wallet. Remember, when I click on this button on the register, this website is going to create a merchant account on Coinbase. So password is going to actually needs to be a strange password because for security reasons. So I just copied and pasted it. Check your organization. Okay. Inspire description. I want to answer.
Yeah, that's going pros.
Yeah, we're talking about this. There needs to be made some aspect of curation or select list of NGOs on the website.
Right.
There needs to be some level of trust. But yeah, ideally, people can also create their own private fundraisers. And I would imagine there would be micro donations, like monthly donations, and there would be no costs, these small donations. Anyway, so yeah, I click on register, and hopefully it won't crash. Yeah, so it's created, and so what the server did underneath is it created a wallet on Coinbase.com. So now let's imagine that I'm a rich guy who wants to donate money to this, to a fundraise. I'm going to discover, and there's this very small list of fundraisers. I look at them, I pick ones I like. For example, let's pick this one. Okay, this again, this is what we could do in 2 days, but ideally we could attach media like what Kickstarter does, like videos, for example. And yeah, so there we have, for example, the amount of people who donated. Ideally, here we describe the amount of money donated, and we have made 2 options: to donate anonymously or to donate publicly. Because some people like to stroke their own ego, like to show off as they gave money. Again, in the future, we would want to share this with the social network that you donated money.
Next to your name, you will have the amount of bitcoins.
By the way, that's not total, that's to do.
I thought it was a Japanese term.
Yeah.
Lack of time.
It's all. It's like, I donated everything.
So there's these 2 buttons, which took me a lot of time to create, because when I click on this button, for example, donate anonymously, page opens, and this page comes from the Coinbase.
This is Coinbase now?
This is Coinbase now. Select the amount you want to donate, for example, 20 euros. And here is the equivalent amount in bitcoins. There are 2 ways of how we can pay. One is by paying from your own wallet, which can be hosted on your laptop, for example, or using Coinbase to perform the payment. So I'm not going to do the payment, because first of all, I have no wallet, and I don't want to buy bitcoins.
So you don't trust the charity? So does that mean you're buying bitcoins now, or are you actually completing the transaction where you buy your?
So you could have an existing. So this case, I don't have an existing account on Coinbase. Yeah. So the donor could, if he has an existing account, will just donate money from his wallet on Coinbase, or from his wallet on the laptop. On his laptop, he wants to. If he doesn't have bitcoins at all, he can choose to create his own wallet again on the laptop, on Coinbase, or whatever.
And they've actually included a link here that explains how you can.
Yeah, don't have any Bitcoin. It makes it very easy to create your own Bitcoin. It's very easy to use the site, and the API is very easy as well. It's very user friendly. So once I donate, that's it. The money goes to the merchant account. And the fundraiser can pull out the money in dollars or euros. And if he wants to show up his name, he can just click on instead of donate publicly. which is the same thing, basically same page, but here it gets to see his name here. It's good money. But anyway, so yeah, that's the proof of concept. It works if you want to access the site. It's coin4good.hack4good.com to be on the race, just in case you're wondering.
And just to wrap up, maybe I had in mind we want to also talk about like the advantages of Coin4Good versus other similar sites. One would be the use of Bitcoin to pay. I mean, maybe it's not a great deal at the moment, but Bitcoin is keeping up, and it's something new, it's innovative, so it creates noise. We think that would help to target a younger audience as well, a more tech-savvy audience. They accept micro donations, so you can actually donate very, very little to make the big difference. What else? We were thinking, obviously, about including the feature of expanding to your social network.
And you don't need a bank account. So I don't know if for some reason you can't create a bank account on create a bank account, you can just create a simple wallet. The barriers for creating a wallet is very low.
Something important to note as well is that you can automatically cash out the money. There's like an option where you can say, I want to cash out automatically every time I receive a Bitcoin. Or you can store your bits into your wallet, and since there is some currency volatility, you can actually make a little more money if you want to exchange them.
So you can sell Bitcoins.
Exactly. Okay. You're essentially selling Bitcoin. But if you want to be secure on that currency exchange, you can fix it. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how does it? I mean, excuse my ignorance on the price. When will they receive money? Do you charge this?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
In the bank account.
On the donate button, it receives it immediately. Or after 5 minutes, because there needs to be some coordination between nodes in the Bitcoin network. But
are you saying that there's no additional charges?
There are very minor charges, but very minor compared to the normal charges that one gets when they pay by email.
The charge is maximum 1% fee, but again, that's beyond the 1 million that you raised. And then there's another like 5 cents for the donator, actually, not for the.
Because for creating Bitcoins, people spend money to mine those Bitcoins, so they want to get some money from that. So they give you a Bitcoin.
So we already mentioned that Bitcoins are not that popular, especially in Malta.
Most of them are not popular.
How would you convince people? Because I guess there's 2 challenges here. You need to make people aware of the site and the way to contribute. I think potentially NGOs can market the site for you. But secondly, if I'm an old person that is interested in donating to this person, okay, maybe I'm computer savvy, but I'm not too up to date with this. How easy is it for me to, from cash with me, move it over to Bitcoins and donate, and then basically make sure I'm aware that what's the feedback I've already from the NGO itself, that actually the money arrives to their account? Because ultimately here we know that it went to your site and
yes,
the money left, but I guess
Coinbase provides an API to confirm that the money got there. So you can confirm that you get money from the NGO.
And setting up an account for buying Bitcoins is as easy as setting up an account with Bitcoin.
We are aiming for a young crowd. We're not aiming for old people.
Thank you.
I'm borderline. I don't know whether
we're all borderline here, so.
In that case, no points.
That's your point.
It's a very nice demonstration of technologies, and it's amazing we've been able to do this
2 days.
within 48 hours.
Awesome.
That's
Thanks to the group.
pretty brilliant.
And thanks to Kevin and where's the other guy? Yeah, they were from July and they fantastic.
Right. And I'm not really that concerned that Bitcoin is not that popular in Malta. It will come here, obviously.
We don't think so. We don't think this to be more of a actually aim this to be global.
Yeah. But the NGO, I fail to see the NGO advantage.
So
Because it's not, there is no like governing authority that verifies that the fundraising that's being done through this application is actually to a charitable organization.
Right. So
I could create 5 different charities in there, like
Right.
Save Kittens and
Yeah.
Save Penguins and Save Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And then I could retire.
Yeah. So if we think that in the future, except Nathan was actually we were
Can I say if you want?
Yeah. I mean,
Every single country, especially in the rest of the world, has a registration for organizations that are of charitable or non-profit nature.
Yes.
And this is because of money laundering, and it has its own verifications. So we are in Malta, with registered voluntary organizations commissioner. You would go to the account of the MFSA, and you would make sure that you audit your account, or if someone wants to see what you've been doing, so they can go and look.
Yes.
Now, what we need to put into the system, obviously with 48 hours, is that with each country where this is registered, we would create a live list of what charities are registered. And you should find a way to cross-reference the name of the charity to a drop-down. Because if it's on the drop-down, then it's registered. It requires a bit of time, so if we can find a way to do it automatically, for example, the Voluntary Organizations Commissioner publishes a spreadsheet every month with the list of all the registered, and if they're struck off, then you go in and you're going to find drop-down.
No.
So that is the safeguard to a certain extent.
So that's what I really need. Because within 10 minutes, you would have 10 million different charities in there. So the actual charitable organizations will drown. It's like finding a book in a library that has been misplaced. You won't be able to find the right charity.
I was thinking as well about for private fundraisers. Like I always met people that need help. And for example, my father, for example, has cancer, and I don't have enough money for this medicine. And maybe I'm in Africa. There are no one who can help me over there. Maybe I would like to notice that private fundraisers can create ones. Then, of course, the fundraisers created by the NGOs would be more trusted, but at least there's the option of private fundraisers.
I mean, it's crowdsurfing or it's charity, right?
It's called funding.
crowdfunding. I mean, it's the same with Kickstarter, really. You upload your project into Kickstarter, no one really knows if you are for real or just
yeah.
Then there was
That's exactly my point. I'm trying to find where would the tool fit. What's required for this to be a unique offering? I mean, shaving off 20% of the small fee. Okay, fair enough. You shaved off 20% of the small fee. Fair enough. That's a contribution. But for this to be a charitable project, I need that link. The list that you register, or at least you can sort or do something like that. So I'm interested in charity. I'm not interested in cheap crowdfunding.
Yeah,
that's the idea. The idea is to have 3 sections where you want to fundraise, you want to donate, or you're an NGO and you got your page, and people can donate straight to your NGO.
Yeah, but as you, sorry, I'm sorry for beating probably a dead horse here, but I'm now a person who wants to donate. To me, I would assume that I am like other people, that I think it's 2 different things. Either I donate to charity, or I give money to whatever project that we don't really know that really exists. Nobody really knows if I'm going to save these kittens or not, right?
But I think the argument should be that how did you get to know about the site? The platform that we're trying to do is, the pitch that I prepared before was that there are people out there who want to make a difference, but they don't have the resources or the inclination to open their own bank account and then have to provide feedback for the background, cash it in and give it to charity, and be suspicious that someone kept a bit of the money and give it all to charity, and all these innuendos. So therefore, using this platform where the wallet is owned by the charity, the money goes straight there.
Yeah.
And with practically zero charge. So if I'm there on fundraising for around the marathon, I'm going to send you a link to my page which says I'm raising money for charity or to cancer. So you will have the peace of mind that I've done the homework. Now, whether I have or not, if the site restricts people who can register the interested and you can sign up, you will solve that problem. It doesn't allow the flexibility which they've come up with, which allows people to do in a form of online busking to some extent, or online daily to some extent, where people are. But that's the choice of the donor and the free will of the donor. Give to something that is interested about.
The reason why I keep on beating this probably half-dead horse is that it's wide open to fraud. But if you allow anybody to create wallets, because that money transfer is not going to be registered and it's not going to be taxed. It's a different thing if it's linked to a governing authority.
Yeah, but that's
and there is a certain level of oversight. No, but that's the problem with Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's
The problem with it is money laundering. It's funding crime, right?
Yes, but
so by creating something for good, you're helping somebody else do bad.
Maybe that's why I asked the question is how would you be notified from the NGO itself that thank you, we received the money back. For example, if I see Inspire over there, I mean, I trust Inspire. And the only thing I don't know is I'm not sure about the site, whether they're genuinely transferring the money to you. So maybe one maybe suggestion would be good that the system automatically from Inspire notifies Inspire that someone here, and there's a process in place that Inspire comes back to me and says, look, I've done this. So I can do it with €1 and then I say, oh, okay, this is really working with €10.
You can
This is just a channel here, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you can actually go on our website and do that. You will receive automatically like saying thank you for your donation.
Right.
But by stating charges, plus the charge of the website, plus the gateway, and therefore it's a very good use for us because we will channel people to generate, create something which is more of a cult or an identity separate from the Inspire page.
And there's some small organizations, as you were saying, which don't have the resources to build their own online platforms.
To open an image account, it costs €150 one day. Yeah. So if you're going to raise €100 first, yeah.
Right, so this wouldn't be branded as Inspire's website. Ah, okay. Because I thought this could be almost like a white label site that you would then brand as.
I just know you can put a skin on it.
Yeah.
It's not restricted to Inspire only as an
No.
I think that's better. It becomes a port.
It's a platform.
But you know, I'm looking at what we need to judge here. I have two questions here. One of them is, you've already mentioned that Inspire has its own portal. How are you going to ensure that the community engages? Maybe simply to what I asked before about Bitcoins, but this time it's more on the marketing side of this. How do you feel you could engage the community to use this method?
to donate on this.
To donate on this, to use this platform
To look at this site.
to go in at the very start. You know?
Yeah.
So, what's your plan around this, or how do you think would be challenged?
So we think that the fact that this is using Bitcoins is actually going to create some extra noise. There is no other site of this characteristics, basically giving coronavirus or any money giving, that uses only Bitcoins. Now, we're not saying that Bitcoins is the way forward, but we are saying that Bitcoins is the only way forward to get rid of all those extra fees that PayPal or other payment methods charge. So that's already something positive, not only for the NGOs, but for the donors. If I'm donating €20, I would rather know that those €20 are going to expire and not be only even €5.
I think what's also interesting is that for me to get 100 people to go to the Inspire website, I have to speak to 100 people. If I use a platform where 100 people out there that are already spoken to, are talking each to 100 people. Then I'm going to create a wave of a cascade effect of people that are going to come eventually to the donation side of I'm going to donate €1.
So that means you speak to the NGOs and tell them to the
NGOs will market it, but they will market to their friends. And their friends will market it. So if I'm going to do the half marathon next week or whatever, and I want all my friends to raise money for the charity that I care for, I am the only person speaking to the charity. But the charity is getting me to get 100 of my friends to donate without having to speak to them directly and market to them directly.
So maybe just white labeling wouldn't be that good of an idea.
No, I want to do a brand.
You do a brand and itself.
But when you go in and the Telecom is raising there, we might want to have the Inspire logo to put it more used to the channel.
On the flip side to that is you might be afraid that people might go to the site and then realize that I better get the money to cure cancer rather than
absolutely.
So there is
Yeah, so that was my concern, is where if I'm interested in Inspire, I go to the Inspire donation site, which will be essentially this. There shouldn't be a drop-down menu. No. It should just be for Inspire.
In this one, yes.
Yeah.
But that's because you select an NGO to give to, because you know who you're going to give to.
That's right.
But if you're going to give to your mate, who's having a fundraising event or he's running a marathon or whatever, you don't even really know who he's raising funds for. Just he's a good guy and gives some money. So he goes on his page, it's the individual page. But then his page is locked to the wallet of Inspire and money goes
right.
Okay.
I still have a problem with Bitcoin. I mean, their reputation with Bitcoin is still questionable. You know, everything associated with it. That's my concern. Is that you've got this thing called Bitcoin that I think the world is still got a lot of questions about who's running it, how does it work, whether it's an organization that's designed for good.
The nice thing about Bitcoin is no one is running it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the bad reputation
the good thing and the bad thing about
it probably comes from Silk Road. No, I think that's
it comes from Silk Road. But I see in the US a lot of startups their focus is on Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
So they have focus on companies.
I mean, it's great. I think it's going to be a great platform for making money. But for making money all kinds of different ways. And so that's my big concern is actually just the connection with Bitcoin and its reputational.
I would rather, if we could say something, I would rather see Bitcoin as a method and, something that is both good for the NGO and for the donor in terms of having to pay expertise. That's it. I mean, there's really no risk, obviously this is not involved with Bitcoin being any kind of dark currency or anything. It's just a method through which...
And that's why the NGO verification here, right? Then, so the chapter is closed, next time you got stuck to Bitcoin. That's one thing. Just one thing, again, looking at the points you have to give there. And the team, you mentioned you two of you, and you had some help from some other people. How do you see this? Clearly, there's some more work to do. And yes, you already did a lot, but how do you see this implemented? So what would be the plan?
I think the question goes it's like
clearly Malta needs something like this. So we would think that as a test base, we could launch here and use the local scene to test it out.
Actually, I was more now, not because you've been small before, and I know your business plan and that's different companies, but that's more about from your team. Because this is what we're studying now, right? It's you as a team, and the idea. Are you able to implement this? And
yes, no,
there's not this case. What are your challenges? What is your plan to basically come back with a finished solution to make it?
There are not. So the ideas of software, I think, are going to take by anything and be implemented. It's just time. I think our first step is to meet with Matt and agree on the priorities, and then we talk to this. Contacts and you'll see if they're interested in this, try it out, talk with others.
So you're first planning a prototype and then doing
this is already a prototype. It's already start on the internet, and people are already creating accounts on actually trying to hacking it.
Very easy,
In terms of next steps, I guess reaching out to as many NGOs as possible to see if they would like to support a project. Alternatively, investors, why not? But they could also support financially to set up the page and hopefully get those time paid.
This is what I was asking you, not for the whole process here, but from a development perspective of building it and maintaining the system.
I can do this in my free time. Like it's not our free time. I think
so two people committed to this.
Yes, unless something happens to me, I get in the hospital or something.
No, it's okay. I mean, I just see what the plan is. I mean,
for me, it's not experience.
From here.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, get moving, see if we can get any support from NGOs, with the help of Nathan, investors.
My only worry was for experimentations, ownership. Who's going to own this thing? Who's going to decide on the requirements, whatever? And apparently, Nathan's very interested on this, so he's there, and we agree with the requirements, whatever.
He's got
so he owns the product. So we help him realize this.
You were inspired.
No, I haven't heard of that. I know it's on the Country Council, so for us, it's something we can roll out across forever. The value of this is that it will help every single child in multiple considerations and keep it overseen.
Right.
and it could be run separate entity, right?
Yeah. No, because this is crucial in gaining the trust.
It'd be nice also if you could, this is something for later, is if you could actually demonstrate the impact of the donations.
The impact, yeah.
So if you could say, look, you know, we've raised, we've raised €1,000,
That was the idea.
and another, this week, another was able to go on work.
No, this is
and get a job.
Yeah.
just in time.
You know, this sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the kind of
Yeah. So yeah, that was the idea. That is good part of the roadmap.
Thank you. Thank you.